Welcome back to a brand new edition to Charcuterie on a Budget. For today's delicious charcuterie board, we are going to be making a taco board. Whether you're celebrating Cinco De May or just having a Taco Tuesday with the family, we are here to show you some budget-friendly ingredients. For this episode, I shopped at Walmart Supercenter and my budget was $25. I did go over my budget a little bit, and there are some things I could have left out to keep it closer to that $25 mark. The first thing we're gonna need for a taco charcuterie board is going to be meat. I picked up pre-cooked chicken for $4, and I also picked up ground beef for $5.77. I could have left one of those out, and then I would have stayed under budget. My taco seasoning was 44 cents. For cheese, I went with the Fiesta blend, which is Monterey Jack, cheddar, queso quesadilla, and Asiero cheddar. The Taco Bell crunchy shells were actually the cheapest at $1.52. I also grabbed flour tortillas, and those were $1.63. Next, for our veggies, I picked up iceberg lettuce for $1.57. You can't have tacos without tomatoes. I grabbed vine tomatoes for $1.98 a pound, and I got a little bit less. I also included some refried beans for 88 cents. Everyone loves sour cream on their tacos, so I grabbed a small container for $1.16. Charcuterie board, I wanted to add a lot of color, so I grabbed a green pepper for 72 cents and I grabbed tricolor peppers for $3.60, which were a little bit on the pricey side. I also picked up a red onion, which will add flavor and color to our board for 72 cents. And last but not least, I grabbed salsa for $1.98. For a total budget breakdown of $27.99. It was a little bit over my $25 budget, but altogether not too bad considering I picked up a variety of options for our charcuterie board. Now it's time to start preparing our ingredients for our charcuterie board. First up are our peppers. We're just gonna cut them into strips. You can cut them and kind of take out the centers, or you can just kind of take them out as you go and removing the seeds. I am going to go ahead and wash these before I put them on the charcuterie board, so that will wash away a lot of these seeds. As you see, you're just gonna kind of rock the knife and you're gonna cut it, maybe tuck your thumb in so it's not so close to the knife. You can just take out the centers as you go, and then you're just gonna keep cutting. Once you have the peppers into their desired size, you're just gonna cut off any of the remaining pieces that you don't wanna keep, and then you're just gonna put them on the side. This one I'm actually going to just core it right at the beginning, so I don't have to worry about all those seeds while I'm cutting. Push them out of the way, and I'm just gonna go ahead and cut that pepper again into strips. And don't worry too much about the seeds because we can just wash those. We'll put them in a colander and just wash all the seeds right off of the peppers. And once you're done with those, just put them to the side and clean up your board and go for the next one. And again, we're gonna core those and we're gonna slice up the orange ones. And you can already tell that the color is already popping just right there on the plate. So you can just imagine how nice it's gonna look on our charcuterie board. And pro tip, tuck in your thumb while you're cutting. I'm not sure what was going on here with my cutting, but always tuck in your thumb so you don't accidentally slip and injure yourself. And once we're done cutting those, just put them on the side, and then we're gonna start on our last one. We are gonna core them and cut them. As we get more into the summer months, the price of pepper will start to come down because the growing season for pepper is actually during the summer. So while right now it's a little bit more expensive, as the summer months come, it'll be more inexpensive to add them to our charcuterie boards. Next up, we're going to prepare our onion. We're just gonna cut it in half, and then we're gonna take the extra skin and we're just gonna throw that away. And then we're gonna start cutting our onion into strips. For our taco charcuterie board, I'm actually gonna take some of the onion and I'm going to cook them, and then I'm gonna leave some of the onion raw, so that way there's a different variety of flavor on the board to choose from. I'm just gonna throw away the extra pieces that I don't need and just continue cutting. Make sure you're mindful of your technique. Here, I'm not tucking my thumb in and I really should be, so just be careful while you're cutting because nobody wants a finger in their charcuterie board. And now we're just gonna finish this up, and we're gonna take some of our peppers and some of our onions and we're gonna put them on the stove and we're gonna cook them over medium heat. This will caramelize the onion and it will help soften some of the veggies. So add a little bit of oil to the pan and kind of added a little oil as I was cooking. That helped crisp them a little bit. Next, we're gonna prepare our tomatoes. I'm just gonna use scissors to cut off the vines, and then I'm gonna cut the top of the tomato off, and I'm actually gonna use my handy dandy cutter so I don't have to worry about taking off my thumb, and I'm gonna cube tomatoes. Well, that was a little messy. After I cubed about 2, I decided that that was going to be plenty of tomatoes. So now I'm just gonna add that to my ramekin. For my tomato, I chose a 7-ounce ramekin. It only held about half of my tomato, so I might have to refill it during entertaining. Next up is our lettuce. Oh no, with the knife again. I'm actually only gonna cut up about half of our iceberg lettuce. That's going to be plenty of lettuce for our charcuterie board. And if I need more, I can always refill while I'm entertaining. I'm just gonna turn the lettuce and I'm just gonna keep chopping until I make it into very small pieces. I'm going to finish that up and I'm gonna add it to a 15-ounce ramekin. Now I'm gonna go ahead and fill up some of my other ramekins with other ingredients. I'm using a 7-ounce ramekin to fill up with sour cream. I'm also using a 7-ounce ramekin to fill up with our Fiesta blend cheese. I'm going to use a smaller ramekin for the salsa. This one is my 4-ounce ramekin, and I'm just going to fill it up. And again, if I need more, I can just refill it as I'm entertaining. The nice thing about ramekins is you can put them right into the microwave. So I'm going to put my refried beans in a 7-ounce ramekin and throw it right into the microwave. And now it's time to heat up the chicken. The chicken is already pre-cooked, so all we need to do is put it on medium heat on a skillet, and we're just gonna warm it up until it's the desired temperature, about 160 degrees. You're also going to want to cut it up into smaller pieces. That will be easier to serve on your charcuterie board. When I'm done, I'm just going to put it in a 15-ounce ramekin, and we're gonna place it right on our board. I chose chicken and beef for my charcuterie board, so there was a variety of choices, but you could always go with just one or the other, or even just the refried beans and keep it a vegetarian taco board. What would you prefer on your taco board? Okay, and lastly, we're just gonna cook our ground beef. We're gonna cook it over medium heat with a little bit of oil in the pan, and you're just gonna keep moving it around until it's completely brown, breaking it up as you go. I chose to cook the meats last, that way they were ready for our board and they were still warm, so I could serve them right after I was finished cooking. And our ground beef is just about ready, so once we get all that pink out of there, we're just gonna take it off the stove for a minute and we're gonna drain it. Then we're gonna add in 2/3 cup of water, and then we're gonna put in our taco seasoning and kind of fold that in until it gets evenly distributed. And then we're just going to bring that to a boil. And once we've brought that to a boil, we're gonna put it on simmer for 3 to 4 minutes. And then that flavor is just gonna cook right into the meat. Our ground beef is just about ready, so now we're gonna start preparing it by putting it into a 15-ounce ramekin. And now we are ready to start our charcuterie creation. Okay, charcuties, our favorite time is here. It is time to create our charcuterie board. All that hard work and preparation is about to pay off. I'm using one of my favorite Royal cutting boards. It is the size 14 by 20, and that's the largest size in the set. We're going to be placing our meat on the charcuterie board. They are in the largest ramekin, so we need to make sure there's room for them. So those are the 15-ounce ramekins. I also don't have any fancy silverware for serving meat, so I just use some big serving spoons from my regular kitchen set. Next, we're gonna add our sour cream, lettuce, tomato, and cheese, and we're putting those in the 7-ounce ramekins, and we're just gonna sporadically put them across the board. And my charcuterie utensil set does come with small spoons, so they're perfect for serving on our taco board. I'm also adding our smaller ramekins at 4 ounces, and they have our cooked veggies, our salsa, and our refried beans. And this is where you get creative. I'm just going to add my hard shells just on the outside of the board because I have a lot of peppers that I want to put through the board to pop color. But you could put those in the middle, you could put those up above, you could even put them on another board. That way they're taking up less room on your main charcuterie board. And now for our flour tortillas, I'm just gonna roll them up and kind of stick them in there. Again, if you put these on another board, it might look a little bit nicer. I was trying to make it all on this one board, so I'm just gonna kind of cram them in there and roll them up. If you roll them a little bit tighter, you can kind of fit a couple more in there. I'm just gonna put 8 just so I can show you how perfect this board is, and that's enough to feed my family of 4. And now to add some more color. This is where we're gonna put our peppers in and our onions. And we're just gonna place them all around the board, and it's just gonna give it a little bit more color. And that's the fun part of a charcuterie, is kind of filling in all those little spots. So it's good to have something that you can put on the board that are gonna fill all those little holes, so that way you don't really see the cutting board and you can just see the delicious food. This charcuterie board is the perfect way to spruce up a Taco Tuesday or celebrate Cinco de Mayo. You might even get extremely creative and make a chips and dip charcuterie board to go along with your taco charcuterie board. Our taco board is looking amazing. All those bright colors and all those yummy varieties of choices to put on our tacos, I cannot wait to get into this. Some other options you might want to add is a lime, you might want to add some avocado or pico de gallo. What other toppings could you think of that you'd want to add to your charcuterie board? Tell us in the comments. And there we have it. It's just about finished, and it is time to enjoy our delicious charcuterie taco board. The The best part of creating charcuterie boards is that I get to be the first taste tester. I'm gonna start off with a flour tortilla, and I'm gonna add sour cream and then some of our fiesta cheese. Next, I'm gonna add those delicious grilled veggies that we made, the onions and the peppers. That's gonna bring a lot of color and flavor to my taco. Add a little bit of lettuce, some tomato. Next, I'm gonna add some ground beef as my meat. And then I'm gonna add just a splash of salsa, and I'll add a little dollop of sour cream at the end. And now I get to enjoy it. Delicious. Thank you, charcuterie fans, for stopping by. We love having you. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and keep those notifications on. Have a great day.